My legitimacy on the channel is being questioned.
This is not a cheap wine.
Yeah.
We all know that I'm not the most educated when it comes to red wines, and the rest of the lineup is reds, and I'm scared. They all taste the same to me. I can't really differentiate anything alternative at all. I know my Shiraz, I know my Pinot, I know my Cab Franc to Cab Sav. I don't really like any of them, but I drink them nonetheless. But today, all preconceived ideas of what we know about red wine go out the window and we are left blind. It is the blind leading the blind, me, and we just gotta figure out what these wines are. They're alternative, they're outside of the box, and I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
So, a bunch of red wines today, and we've got to guess the connection between them.
Wine number one. We have a lovely, lovely, almost slightly brick, tawny hued with faded rim red wine.
Oh yeah! Strawberry jam, my dude.
Oh my god, cute little Chrissy pudding wine. That's so slay.
Probably Grenache. A slight amount of black olive tapenade here.
It tastes like one of our wines. Like this tastes like the sort of shit that Unico makes.
I sort of really enjoy the lightness and the fruitiness of it without it being all like rosé.
I'm getting like Dolcetto or Nero d'Avola, that sort of medium weight European style red wine.
This for me is sort of like perfect bistro, pub wine, by the glass. Like the wine doesn't distract from that. It makes everything sort of blend together. I would drop like 28 bucks a bottle for this and I would totally buy 12.
I'll still have 6 bottles of it. I will pay $35 a bottle for it, and I reckon that is a Dolcetto.
I'll buy 3 and I'll share them, have them with a roast. I don't know what it is. Some sort of Pinot?
Wine number two, we've gone complete opposite end of the spectrum. So we've gone from light to really dark.
It smells like beef.
Wine number two, ooh. It sounds weird, but tomato-y sort of energy on the nose.
This is lean. It's got a slight amount of like eucalyptus here, real sinewy. Like the nose is this black olive tapenade. It's very, very strong here. So maybe there's a bit of a common theme, but.
No, this isn't for me.
Lovely wine, very high acid on this, as opposed to wine number one that was pretty subdued.
Probably a little bit less full-bodied than the previous wine, which is interesting because the previous wines smell a lot lighter.
I actually think this wine is pretty good value. Like I would drop around about 25 bucks a bottle and I would buy probably 6.
I'll take 1, but I don't really want any more than that. I can't really see myself drinking this and enjoying this, but it's probably around $30 a bottle.
I'll have 3 of that one. I just probably prefer the previous wine, so when you're comparing apples with apples, it's easy to pick the pink lady over the Fuji. That one, I reckon, is $45. So far, I'm getting just like big Italian vibes from these lineups, so I'll go Sangiovese. Sangiovese.
Wine number 3.
Wow, very showy, very fun, probably Grenache. And I love the color. The color just, it looks delicious, especially when you're in Australia and living in like a pretty warm, dry climate. These are just wines for drinking.
That is a tasty burger.
Quite floral, not super fruity. I'm not really getting heaps.
Way too much structure for Grenache. I actually think that this is either a blend or likely Gamay.
Probably not enough acid in there for it to be Nero. Just another Italian grape varietal. This is the problem whenever we do these brackets. I get an idea on the first one, I'm like, ah, cool, Italy. Let's just think of Italian grape varietals. Meanwhile, it's got nothing to do with Italy and I'm way off.
I have absolutely no idea what it is. I'm gonna say it's a Pinot again.
I'm gonna go 28 bucks a bottle and I'm buying 12 of this.
I would happily have 6 bottles of that for $30, but if that's like a $60 wine, then it's just not something that I'd be picking up a lot of.
I'll take 6 of these. I think it's really nice. I reckon it might be like maybe $40 a bottle.
Really fun wine. Probably my favorite so far. It's electric.
Wine number 4 is much, much darker.
There's much more purple notes, more light red garnet sort of thing.
Back to dark color again. So there's really not a common theme here about sort of light or dark color or kind of handling or how many days on skins. That's not a common theme.
A little confected nose on this one.
Lovely nose, man, lovely nose. A little bit seductive.
It's got a lot of flavor, but it's like gone, which is sort of bizarre. I don't hate it.
So initially I thought maybe the common theme here is that they're just really good value reds. But then you taste this. I think this is like pretty pricey. This is not a cheap wine, which really annoys me because now I'm completely thrown and I do not know what the common theme of this whole bracket is.
My guess is that this is going to be Italian varietals made in different countries. So like New World takes on Old World varietals.
Like all of them have this sort of like umami-ness. Maybe it's botrytis, maybe that's the theme.
I'm hoping it's cheap, but I would happily part with about $45 a bottle and I would totally buy 12 of this. This is a very good wine.
I'll take 3 and I'll pay like $30 a bottle.
I have 6 of those. It's a tasty wine. Wine number 5. Again, returning to that sort of plummy, more purpley sort of color in the grapes there.
Bit of Brett. How can these things coexist, you know, both really light colored and really dark colored wines all within the same bracket, you know?
I reckon this might be corked.
This is where I start drawing the line where I look at it and go, I'm not gonna like this.
Feels like Syrah. Honestly, it feels like that lusciousness of Australian Syrah. I think this is like almost like absolute typical steak wine.
It does have that sort of like wet cardboard danky sort of thing going on. 1 and $20.
I'm gonna guess it's Mataro. I might be completely wrong. I'll take 1 and I'll give it to my dad and I'll pay maybe like $40.
I'd actually drop $55 a bottle for this. I'd buy 6 or some little Shiraz. At least I think it's a Shiraz. And the last wine for today, the darkest and probably most purple as well. Like this is a seriously purple wine.
It looks like tar and I'm sort of scared of it, but that's okay. I'm learning, I'm a big girl, I'll be okay.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
It smells like a candle.
Like you make a red wine that smells like this, you have my attention.
This is showy wine. This wants to jump out of the glass with raspberries. Straight away, my head's put right into Grenache territory.
No, this isn't for me.
That's the cool thing about this channel is like you can sort of align yourself with one of the host's tasting vibes and ideas. So make sure you subscribe so you can find out what sort of wines I like, and there's a pretty good chance that you're gonna like them as well.
Oh, great. All class. I have no idea. Maybe they're all McLaren Vale wines. Hard pressed to see all of these as Grenaches.
It's probably like Dolcetto or something that I know I don't like. I don't know. I don't want any. If I was to pay for it, I wouldn't want to pay any more than like $30.
That reminds me so much of Fresh AF. Give me a dozen of that. I'd pay $55 for it.
$85 a bottle and I'd buy 12. I'm hoping here that the theme is like great value reds, underrated reds or something. I suppose we're gonna try to find out as the bracket is revealed.
I don't really know what this theme could be. They're all red wines, which I really struggle with.
Very keen to see what Brendan and Gemma have to say.
Let's see if they nailed what the hell this bracket is all about.
What a silly lineup.
I thought I had it, and then on the back 3, I really don't think I've got it. I don't
Okay.
know what they have all in common.
I mean, there's several things they all have in common.
I mean, they're red. Okay, they're red.
Immediately I go, it's a red wine bracket.
Fermented
That's
grape juice, brother.
That's the overarching theme. I went with 2 guesses for the theme. The first one was Brett.
Okay. That's okay.
Based off of your reaction to that, psych, my guess is no longer Brett. They're all Italian.
There's definitely some Brett stuff here. Or all Italian could be a shout. There's just some like wines that I would have expected to be in here. But for the first 3, I was like, they didn't have a lot of complexity and I thought maybe these were like great low value wines. But then started to get into the high dollars towards the back end of the bracket where I was like, shit, these are like, some of these are really, really exciting. Apart from the fact that I think a bunch of them are Grenaches. And they could all just be Grenaches.
The first 3 wines I thought kind of tasted like the sort of wines that we make. And what sort of wines do we make? We make alternative varietals in Australia. So I thought that this was old world varieties made in new world locations.
Right.
Wine number 1?
Yeah.
Number 1.
I thought this was a bit of a fun, cheeky little number. Potentially, I mean,
My legitimacy on the channel is being questioned.
straight away I thought Grenache just didn't have a lot of complexity, didn't have a lot of acid, didn't have a lot of like structure. Very yummy though.
I thought it was a Pinot. I wanted 3 and I'd pay 35.
12 and I'd pay 28.
I said it was Dolcetto. I wanted 6 for $35. Just that medium weight. How much was it? 38. Right around
Magic
the
number.
spot. Number 1.
Number 1.
Gamay.
Gamay.
Interesting. So it's the Grenache that has the tannin.
Floating around all of those sort of guesses that were in that medium weight.
Medium body, bit of structure.
Cool.
So it's King Valley, which is in New...
And how much was it?
Victoria. 38.
38.
Beechworth.
Wine number 2. Oh, is this the little sinewy number?
Wine number 2 gave me beef stew, gave me boots.
So I thought this was the most polarizing wine here. This reminds me of a wine we made. Reminds me of
100%.
Truffle Hound. Or maybe even Pastafarian.
Yeah, so the thing that...
Sangiovese.
The thing, I called it Sangiovese. I thought it had that sort of like weird tomato-y acid thing that our Pastafarian from last year had, which is where I was jumping onto the Sangiovese train from.
I said Neb. I thought it was a Neb.
It definitely reminds me of a vineyard that we take from, and that's why I was like, there's this sort of greenness, sort of sinewiness to it. Well, I wanted 6 of them. I wanted to pay $38.
I only wanted 1, and I'll pay $30 and I'll give it to my dad.
I had 3 for $45. Yeah, it was Sangia.
Right.
23.
What
23?
Oh, I can see the cork. It's Truffle Hound.
Well done. Well done.
This is what happens when you taste this wine all day, every day. It's pretty distinctive.
As soon as I got the soy sauce thing, I was like, bang, Truffle Hound.
We've blind tasted this on the show before.
Slay.
$23.
God, that's good value.
So far you could be on though, in terms of the bracket. New wave varieties grown in Australia.
In
in
old
different
world,
ways.
yeah, old world, new world.
Wine number 3.
Fucking love this.
This was awesome. I thought it was a Pinot.
Red wine that drinks like a white wine.
100%. So light,
done.
so fun.
I think it's gonna mature a little bit further in the cellar. I'd like to see a little bit of maturation. $28 and 12 for me.
Oh, I said 6 and $40 each.
I said $6 and $30 each.
How much?
How much?
38.
Nice.
Nailed it.
Mate, we're in the... Is it Nero?
Koerner.
Red wine.
Red wine.
That is red wine.
Korse.
La Korse.
I think could be
2023.
Chacarello.
Chacarello.
Grenache.
Vermentino.
and Carignan.
Carignan.
But we have loved the Koerner wines ever since this show started 5 years ago.
Consistent, affordable,
Really cool stuff.
approachable, all of that. Shaping up
Yeah.
okay
Shaping
here.
up
Shaping up
okay.
alright.
I think we can almost lock in place, Doyle, that you've nailed the bracket.
For sure.
Alternates.
I think we can also nail in the fact that I absolutely butchered the bracket. None of these wines have Brett.
And
Let's get into wine number 4.
cracking wine. I wanted 12 of them. I wanted to pay $45 for it. I thought it was just luscious, soft, great acid drive to it.
I had absolutely no idea what this was.
Yeah.
It was just giving good red wine.
Yeah, bit of.
That's all I was really getting from it.
I was the same boat as you, Gemma. I was confused by it. I just said a little bit of sour cherry thing, but it is very soft.
This could be Dolcetto. I wanted 12 for 45.
I have 3 for 30.
I had 6 for 45.
Interesting.
$29
Good
bucks.
value. I'm on to that 30.
I reckon that it's just going to be a value lineup is what these have in common.
I don't know. What do we got?
What is it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mencia. Beautiful.
I've got a couple of boxes literally in the next room of this exact wine. It's like a bit of a hot take in nerdy sort of Australian wine industry stuff. I think this is the best Mencia made in the country.
Cool.
Got a lynx on it.
It's got a lynx on it.
Ticking all the fucking boxes right there.
He's a big cat guy.
Very, very fun wine brand as well. Like they do really amazing.
They do really
they are
cool
cool,
stuff.
Yeah.
Wine number
Alright, wine number 5. Now this is where things took a turn for me.
Yep, same.
Yeah,
Absolute same.
Corked? When I was tasting it, it definitely had that sort of like damp
Oh,
cardboardy.
that's Brett.
Ah!
This is Brett.
I thought it was giving like blue cheese
Yeah.
feet boot.
Blue Cheese Feet Boots is a great stage name.
Yeah, it's a song. It's blue cheese,
These
feet,
feet
boots.
On the nose, I have to sting it for Brett. On the palate, though, it seems to be sort of largely unhindered. Potentially Syrah, or maybe like Montepulciano.
I said Mataro.
I don't mind a bit of Brett, but once it ticks over to the point where I'm like, is this corked? That's probably too much Brett.
They've gone too far. Yeah, for sure.
So I just wanted 1 for 20.
Picking the brand of Band-Aid.
20!
Yeah, I thought it was bottle file. I thought it was the sort of thing that I'd send back.
I said 1 for 40.
40, I had 6 for 55. I thought I had enough occasions to be able to burn through 6 bottles in the next 6 months before it gets completely undrinkable. How much was it?
35.
Cool.
Banger.
Alright.
Vino Volta.
Volta.
It's pretty cool. Out of Swan Valley,
WA.
WA. Yep. Was it Temp Grenache?
Yeah, Temp
Temp Touriga
Touriga.
Grenache. Pretty solid cracking wine, especially for the price point.
Wine number 6.
This is my one on it.
Oh my god, I really disliked this.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is my one lineup as well.
This is where I started apologizing between wine 5 and wine 6. I'm dumbed the wrong girl for the job. My legitimacy on the channel is being questioned.
3 of these wines have Grenache in them. That for me was just holy shit, what is going on here?
Yeah, that was sliding back into Unico territory for me. That was reminding me of Fresh AF, just because it's got that sort of like strawberry, raspberry, bright, fruity nose thing.
I said Dolcetto purely because I know I don't like Dolcetto and Dolcetto's red wine.
That's a really good way to go about it.
You could be bang on here, man. Seriously, I wanted 12 for $85.
I didn't want
was like
any.
into this wine.
I'd pay $30 if I was forced to buy a bottle.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had 12 for 55.
Wow. How much was it?
26.
Wow.
Value.
Well, you'd be getting at least a bottle.
Value. I'll give it to someone.
What is it? What have we got?
It's not Fresh AF.
Dude.
Malbec.
Bleasdale! Malbec, baby!
Dude.
Back to the roots.
We had a comment last week on the channel about how we're famous for our hatred of Malbec. And I just wanted to clarify on this particular wine right now that hatred is really embodied by just an individual host.
I really hate Malbec.
Because we loved it. We loved it. I thought this was awesome. Like, what a great gateway wine for everyone that's like, I only drink Shiraz. Yeah, buddy.
For sure.
Sure, whatever.
For sure. Don't take my opinions to heart because I don't really know what I'm talking about with red wine. My legitimacy on the channel is being questioned.
Although this is Democracy Manifest, and democracy must reign supreme.
It's wine number 3. It has to be.
Wine number 3. How'd you go for wine number 3, Henry?
Yeah, I liked wine number 3.
Doing it again. So we've got a couple of
Riesling
consistent
free.
players, man. We've got Riesling free, we've got
Dr.
Koerner,
Edge.
Dr. Edge.
Gentlefolk.
They keep getting up, time and time again.
That said, every time we have a Bleasdale wine on this show, I love it. It's in the veins. It's in the veins, man. I love Bleasdale.
You can buy all of these on different drop, a Sans Brett or Con Brett, as well as lovely Malbec and lovely Koerner.
Yeah, or if you want to get Truffle Hound, hit me up. Just mention me in a comment. I'll sort you out. Direct to the door. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, cheers guys.
Ciao.